$100,000 a year. For most Australians, that number has always felt like the finish line. The salary that means you've made it. The income where life gets comfortable and the stress starts to ease. But here's the truth. Nobody told you. In 2026, a six-figure salary in Australia does not buy what it used to. And for a lot of people earning it right now, it barely feels like enough. So today, let's pull it apart dollar by dollar. The real take-home, the real costs, and the real question, is $100,000 actually a good wage in Australia anymore? Let's start with what actually lands in your account. On a $100,000 salary, after income tax and the Medicare levy, your take-home pay drops to roughly $73,400 a year. That's about $1,411 a week hitting your bank account. And from the 1st of July 2026, the new 15% tax rate on the lowest bracket gives a small boost, but it doesn't change the bigger picture in any meaningful way. You're still handing almost $27,000 a year to the government before you've paid a single bill. Now, the rent. This is where the story gets brutal. In Sydney, the median rent now sits near $824 a week. In Brisbane, it's around $720. Melbourne is close behind at $632. Even Adelaide, long considered the affordable alternative, has pushed past $646 a week. If you're renting in any capital city and spending $700 a week on housing, that's $36,400 a year, more than half your entire take-home pay. Gone. Before food, before bills, before a single dollar touches anything else. And yes, $100,000 earners can often afford to rent a decent place alone. But decent in Sydney in 2026 means $700 to $850 a week. That's the reality. There's no getting around it. After rent, the bills start stacking. Electricity, gas, water, and internet run between $80 and $100 a week for the average Australian household. That's around $4,500 a year just to keep the lights on and the Wi-Fi running. Then food. A single person eating reasonably well, not lavishly, just normally, spends between $150 and $200 a week on groceries. Add a few meals out, a couple of coffees, and you're at $200 easily. Over a full year, that's more than $10,400 just on eating. So let's run the numbers. Rent at $36,400. Bills at $4,500. Food at $10,400. That's $51,300 already gone from a $73,400 take-home. You have $22,100 left. Spread across 52 weeks. That's $425 a week to cover everything else in your life. Now here's where it gets interesting, because $425 a week sounds like breathing room, until you actually break it down. Transport, whether you're running a car or commuting daily on public transport, costs between $80 and $150 a week. Private health insurance for a single person on a decent policy runs $50 to $80 a week. Gym, phone plan, streaming subscriptions, haircuts, clothes. Add another $60 to $100 a week easily. And you haven't touched savings, investing, travel, or any kind of social life. Once the averages are all added up, most single Australians earning $100,000 and renting in a capital city are left with somewhere between $100 and $200 a week of genuinely free money. That's what's available for wealth building, emergency funds, and every financial goal they actually care about. This is why so many people on six figures feel just as stuck as they did on $70,000. The wage went up. The costs went up faster. But here's where the $100,000 earner does have a real edge. And it's one most people waste completely. Super. From the 1st of July 2025, the employer's super guarantee sits at 12%. On a $100,000 salary, that's $12,000 a year flowing into your super fund on top of your wage. Over 30 years, with average returns, that alone builds a significant retirement balance. But most Australians on this income do nothing extra with it. They don't salary sacrifice. They don't check their fund's fees. They don't consolidate old accounts. And they leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table as a result. The concessional contribution cap from 1st of July 2026 rises to $32,500. A $100,000 earner who maxes that out is redirecting money from the 32.5% tax bracket into super at just 15%. That's a 17.5% saving on every dollar that goes in. If you're earning six figures and not using this lever, you're genuinely giving money away. Now let's talk about ownership. Because renting on $100,000 and buying on $100,000 are two completely different financial realities. In Sydney, the median house price now sits close to $1.8 million. Even with a 20% deposit, $360,000, which takes years to save on this income, the mortgage repayments on a $1.44 million loan at current rates land somewhere around $2,100 to $2,300 a week. That's more than your entire take-home pay. Sydney home ownership on a single $100,000 income is, for most people, mathematically impossible without a second income or a significant inheritance. In Brisbane, Adelaide, or regional markets, the numbers are harder but not impossible. A $700,000 home with a $140,000 deposit means repayments of around $850 to $950 a week. Tight on this income, but workable with discipline. Where you live is now one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make. The same $100,000 salary in regional Queensland can fund a mortgage, consistent savings, and a comfortable life. The same salary in inner Sydney barely covers rent. So what does $100,000 actually buy in Australia in 2026? It buys security from poverty, it buys a decent rental in most cities, it buys a comfortable lifestyle if the location is right and the debts are under control, but it does not buy financial freedom on its own. It does not buy easy home ownership in the major capitals. And it does not automatically mean you're getting ahead. The Australians who do well on this income share one thing in common. They treat the gap between what they earn and what they spend as the most important number in their financial life. Not the salary. The gap. Because wealth is not built by earning $100,000. It's built by keeping enough of it consistently, over a long enough period of time, and putting it to work. If you're earning six figures right now and still feel like something isn't adding up, you're not imagining it. The cost of living has changed the rules, but the strategy to get ahead hasn't. Know your numbers. Protect your gap. Use every tax lever available to you, and let time do the work. If this video helped cut through the noise, do me a favor and hit the like button. It helps more Aussies find this content. If you're not subscribed yet, now's the time. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you there.